how's it going? Happy heckin' Friday. Welcome to another episode of our Indie Game Spotlight. Today we are playing Our Lady, game made by some person.
A really cool person.
No. that some people voted to play, and so we're playing it. Goodness gracious. Thank you all so much for being here. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, I'm gonna do some quick intros. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to Roll20, who has us as part of their Roll20 Spotlight. They are very heckin' wonderful and cool and supportive and lovely, and we're playing this game on Roll20. You can see it right here, this, and there's a lovely person in chat, Made of Cartoons, who helped me build this into the Roll20, so we can actually draw cards together like we were sitting down at a table playing a game or something. It's pretty heckin' sweet. And Roll20 lets you do that. So !Roll20 in the chat, and if you don't have one, make a Roll20 account for yourself. Get in there and play games with your friends. There's even forums online to find other folks to play with. You can be like, hey, I want to play this game. You can like look it up and be like, oh, there's other people that want to play this game. You can go and find them and play games with them. Do it, because I said so. It's all that good stuff. Yeah. So normally I would shout out like the maker of the game. Okay, fine, I did it. I made this game. I'll talk about it a little bit before we go in and read the rules. The game is set up so that we will be reading the rules all together out loud. But yeah, this game it's kind of... it is a game based on a story. I wrote this one for the Folklore Jam, which happened last year, and is going on right now. You should check it out on itch.io. And this is the closest thing that I had to, like, a folklore story growing up. This is a story that, like, when I was a kid, it scared the heck out of me. It was the story of 3 children that received a visitation, and it was played as this, like, beautiful thing, but to me it was scary, so I just wanted to... it's beautiful and interesting and magical. I don't know. It was really terrifying to me, so I thought it was really interesting. And I wanted to make this game that gave you the opportunity to look at the general kind of concept of the story and decide for yourself: is this good? Is this bad? What are these gifts? What does it mean to you? Like, what happens? What happens over the course of a year if someone magical showed up and was like, "Hey, guess what? Here's some magic," or here's some information, or here's something about your future, or here's something special, here's a prophecy, here's something. What do you do with that for the next few months? And what do you do when she says she's gonna come back at the end of the year and something is gonna happen? What do you do? I don't know. So that's what this game is. That's what this game is about. So we play through the year as 3 kids and see how we grow and change together, what these things mean to us, all that sort of heckin' stuff. That's this game, and that's what we're gonna play. So that being said, hi, my name is Jess. If you're at this channel, you found me. Go ahead and that follow button here on Twitch. You can also follow me over on Twitter, where I talk about games, or you can follow me over on YouTube, where I post games. It's a lot of tabletop games stuff. Also, you want to follow my Instagram. It's mostly just cats. But it's a nice break from all the games. So let's go around and say hi to everyone playing. Tonight we have Anton!
Hello, I am Anton. At Anton Carmula on Twitter. I also stream now, so you can find me on Twitch as well. Today, I will be playing a character that I have just named Arcturus. All I know about him is that he's a kid and he has wings.
I love that. I love that you both already decided, like, just there was something you knew when it was like, okay, let's just decide the setting, which we preset before we went in, and maybe like a little something about ourselves, and you both had one thing that you were like, this one thing. Anton was like, I know I'm gonna have wings, and then I'll let Morgan say what hers was. Hello, Morgan.
Hello, I am Morgan. You can find me on, I'm most active on Twitter, at Morgan Eilish. You can also find me on Instagram where I post some of my cosplays, but I haven't done one in a while. But I am playing a character named Zips. They are blue because I can't. If I have an option to play a blue character, I gotta take it. And they have 5 eyes, and they love pirates.
This is what has been predetermined in our game, and it makes me so happy. Yeah, so for this game is a GM-less, prep-less game. You can literally, hang on, do I have one handy? I do have one handy. It's my game, I made it. I have one. This is the entirety of the game physically. This is it. This is the whole thing. You can play with it. The rules are in here, the prompts are in here, the season settings are in here, it's all in here. And then all you do is decide kind of the story you want to tell and where you want to set it, and like a little bit about your kids, and then you kind of make it up on the fly. So these folks have gone ahead and started to make some interesting. I like your characteristics already. I've admitted I've decided nothing about my character. I'm gonna see what the cards tell me to do. Thank you for that stretch. I really appreciate it because I probably was like getting a little stiff here. I'll do a stretch. Thank you. So yeah. Do either of you want to tell the folks a little bit about the setting we decided? A little bit?
We're in space.
Yeah.
I think we decided a space station.
Yes.
And it is populated with various different, I think mostly aliens.
I like that. Anton, do you remember, was there anything else? I think we kept it pretty simple.
I think that was it. Yeah.
I feel like our space station needs a name, though.
Ooh. We can do that before we go in if you want to decide a space station name. What's a good space station name?
I usually tend to name such things after stars or something.
I mean, I think
all right, well, let's pick a star.
Just throw out some start chucking out star names, and then let's.
I think the only one I know is Polaris.
So you got Polaris, you got Vega, Deneb, Altair.
I like the sound of Deneb.
I was thinking the same thing. I really like the sound of Deneb.
It just sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a word that's used a lot.
I like it. Is that cool with everyone if we name our space station Deneb?
I like it.
Yep.
Is it with a B or with a V? Oh, it's with a B. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There we go.
And Dusty has pointed out, Beetlejuice was going to be my next one.
Ooh.
I know
like
Beetlejuice as well, but I think Deneb is better.
I like Deneb. Okay, with that said, we will go around and read the rules all together, as is how you kind of start the game together. Does everything sound okay to you, chat? Everything's sounding so good so far? You can hear everyone all right, and a little bit of music, but not too much. I think this music is nice. Some people said it sounded sad.
I think it's chill and relaxing, and I could have a nap to it.
Oh, that's fair. Well, we're gonna switch it up. You know what other songs we have that are gonna switch in a second.
You know, I also took allergy meds, so anything could make me sleep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go around and read the rules together. I will read the first one, and then we will go down the line reading them as we go. So, rule number 1. It's actually a little bit of narrative. Stories of visitation and prophecy exist all throughout the world of legend and lore. This is a 3-player game that encompasses a year in the life of 3 children who have been visited by a divine spirit.
What would you do? Who would you tell? Who would believe you? Are you ready for when she returns?
Interpret each card you get individually, and then discuss and build a rich world together. Play to tell your story. Answer the questions you get on your turn. Ask questions of the other players when they have finished their prompt.
Use a classic setting or make up your own fantastical backdrop. Tell the story as you think it would unfold in the modern day, in the past, in a world completely different from our own.
Take a moment before you begin the first session to decide together what framework you'd like to use, what ambience you would like to invoke, whose story you want to tell.
Play through the seasons knowing that in 1 year's time, she will return.
Start in the spring when the lady first visits and continue through each subsequent season, summer, fall, and winter, until you draw the She Has Returned card. Then determine how you think your story would end.
You've built this story together, and you should end it together. Is there a conclusion that seems to fit the story you have created? What is dramatic? What is engaging? Discuss until you come to a conclusion that embellishes the mythology you have shaped.
You can make the game as long or as short as you want, simply by changing how many prompt cards you use per season. 2 cards per person each season is recommended. I think we were playing with 1 for now.
We're gonna try. Yeah, we've determined to try. I'm changing these. All these things are getting updated, y'all. There's gonna be an update to this game, anyways. We're gonna try 1 card per season, and that is simply due to the fact that, similar to if you've ever played For the Queen, it literally says like this game can be played in 30 minutes. I've never seen a game of For the Queen played in 30 minutes because everyone always embellishes and like tells a story and like you want to kind of get into it, and like part of the fun is to like, you know, you get asked a question, you read your question, you say what you think, and then everyone's like, but what about this? Have you thought of that? What if this? And you kind of like shape it all together. The person who drew the card though gets final say. That is their moment to decide. So that's kind of how it's gonna go. Shucks, I realize I've set myself up to go first, so I guess I'll do that. Okay. I will draw. Oh wait, actually, I'll draw the first spring card. But does one of y'all want to pull out the spring season card and read that? Anton, why don't you do spring, and then Morgan, you can do summer when we get to that one.
Okay.
You should be able to choose specifically the spring card from the seasons, which is all the way at the bottom of the decks on the right side. Perfect.
There we go. You want me to read it out as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. Spring is when you 3 are first visited. It's something just between you. Everything is new and exciting. It's breathtaking, dramatic, intoxicating.
That's a little bit of flavor of how spring starts. This is the start of our story. So I've already shuffled. I'm going to hit shuffle again on the spring. I just feel the need to shuffle again, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to draw it. I'm going to pull it out. And, ooh, that's a very good first card. What form did she first take when she appeared? How did this amaze you? Okay. So we're on a space station. So I kind of like the idea. I think Morgan, you kind of like put this thought in my head of like, I think maybe we were all playing together, or we were like hanging out in like a room. Maybe there's like some rec rooms and stuff like that, like areas to like hang out and do some stuff. And I feel like we were in one of these rooms doing something, and I don't know what space games we're playing. We're playing some sort of space game, and something falls down and kind of rolls near a space cabinet, because everything in space is a space something or other. And so we go to open the space cabinet, and just as we open it, the lights go out. And I think the doors are still closed, but now they're kind of like, I think like hands on door. There's now like, now that the lights are out, we wouldn't have noticed this with the lights on, but with the lights out, there's something glowing inside the cabinet. Is this okay with everyone so far?
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think before we even opened the doors, I think they were shaking and they stopped. They stopped shaking, but there's still that glowing. And then we actually hear a bit of a whisper. And it says, "I will come out and see you, but do not be afraid." I feel like at least two of us, like I feel like there's at least one person on each side of this. Do you think your character would be at the door or staying back from the door?
I think my character's not at the door. I think they're staying back from the door, and they've got like some kind of stick that they're pretending is a sword. A space
Okay.
stick.
Are you at the door or away from the door?
I'll say my character's a bit bolder then and is taking one of the handles.
Okay. Okay. So there's just enough light coming out of this cabinet that we can just see each other. And I think we do like a nod, and then we open it, and it actually goes dark again for a second. And then instead of inside the cabinet, in the corner, a light appears. And it starts very small, but it kind of like expands and expands, and it grows and it grows and it grows until, for a moment, the room is brighter than it had been with the lights on.
Is the light warm?
Yes, actually. I think a lot of the lights are like fairly cold. Like there's a lot of light that probably has like a bit of a blue tint to it.
No, but like, does it make the room feel warmer?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say it's glowing like a golden with like a bit of like golden yellow to red, like almost, and there's absolutely like this warmth, but you can feel it like in waves. It's not all at once. It's like waves of warmth
Is it
and light.
like pulsing?
Yeah. And so it is now this long, warm figure of light.
Is it just light?
Like you mean, does it have like a humanoid form?
Well, not necessarily humanoid, but does it have a form?
I don't think we can tell at this point. I think at this point of it first presenting itself to us, we did just go from like absolute darkness to this like bright warmth that is not a common feeling or experience for us.
So our eyes are still adapting to it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say we can't make it out yet, but currently it just seems almost like this pillar of light. If that's
Can
cool
we
with-
touch it?
Does Zips want to go over and try and touch it?
Zips absolutely wants to like just poke it with the end of their stick sword.
Okay.
Like gently, not like
yeah.
hit the lady.
I love this. I love this. Can I just say? Okay. So, Zips, what does this look like? Zips moving over to the, like...
Okay, so I think, like, they're definitely a little bit freaked out because this is not something they've ever seen before. And but they're trying to pretend like they're not.
Mhm.
And they've got like the stick out in front of them, and they're pretending it's like a rapier. And they're just like slowly like inching forward
Yeah.
until it like touches the light.
I think as you draw closer with this stick, I think the like pulsing kind of stops and just like settles for a little bit. And then as your stick gets closer, the light actually slowly extends out to meet it and like touches it and then envelops it. And you feel this wave of warmth. And it's not bad. And it's not threatening.
Does this happen quickly?
I think
or
it happens.
like very. Okay,
I
because
think
if it
the
happened like kind
movement-
of slowly, I feel like Zips would absolutely just drop the sword and scream and run.
I think that when you get closer, the light coming out to touch the sword happens very slowly. But if you like do that slow touch, the light and warmth is immediate. Like it just whoosh. Like before you can blink your eye. You feel it.
I love this.
Are there any other thoughts, questions? I think I answered both my questions. What form does she take, and how did this amaze you?
I mean, it sounded pretty amazing.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If there are
I
no
think
further
at this.
questions. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I do have some general questions about your character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do they have a name?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that. Like, I was like, I don't know. They were brave. They were either brave or reckless enough to go and investigate the cabinet. They seem to be coordinated with Arcturus a little bit. I'm gonna call them Reams. And I think they use they, them pronouns.
Okay. What does Reams look like?
Reams! Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't... Reams!
On the spot character description.
I know. We hadn't even, like, really done anything yet. What does Reams look like? Reams is... somewhat like not fully but somewhat liquid based, so they're a bit, and they kind of have like a suit that helps them take forms so they can like kind of contain and then easily like move out and do different like shapes to mimic the other sentient beings on the space station, to match forms and fit into the same sorts of places. They are a light yellow. Yep, I went with it. I said that. It's too late. It's happening. But their outside coating is kind of sheeny. So like the coating that holds them in kind of almost almost opalescent. So in different lights, they look different. So I think actually, when we see this creature, Reams is like changing color. Like it's causing Reams to be like different colors with every like wave and pulse. Reams is like a different color because of this.
I love
Okay.
them.
I made it up. I don't know. that's
I
what
love
we're
them.
going.
They're
You
excellent.
asked. You asked. That's what they look like. That's what they are. Yeah. So
Cool.
any other questions?
Shall I go?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for the next turn if everyone's cool.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I could answer these very simply.
Do you want to read it out loud and then like
Okay. So the two questions are: how is she beautiful? And why does she make you want to be more like her? And my very quick and simple answers are: well, light is beautiful. And who doesn't want to glow?
Okay. I have to ask though, does this mean anything special to Arcturus? And can we get a little bit more of a look at Arcturus?
So Arcturus, I'd imagine I think of him almost in the sort of classic sense as looking sort of like an angel, or something like a planar being in D&D, that sort of thing.
So he's like humanoid with wings?
Yeah.
Okay.
White. So white skin, white hair, white feathers. I'm entertaining the idea that rather than being clothed, he's covered in hair
Oh, interesting.
and in fur, rather. Again, white. This is a very interesting
So-
color palette.
So like snowy white, kind of like a white cat or something like that. Like, is it, and are the wings feathered or are they furred?
They're feathered,
Okay.
but fluffy
I'm
feathers.
picturing like a tiny Bigfoot, but with wings. How far off am I?
I was going to say the snow monster from
From Rudolph?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, not that horrific. Basically, the shape of a boy, but that sort of snow monster type
I love it.
furriness.
I actually
With
really
wings.
like that. With wings.
So the wings are their actual wings. He can fly. Wampa. Thank you, Jordan. And he can fly. So they are sort of flight wings, but because he's quite young, they're also sort of fluffy and furry as well. If you were to stroke them, they'd be quite soft.
Has he learned to fly yet? or he just eventually will one day be able to fly?
No, he has learned to fly. I'd imagine that flying is something that he learns to do before he can walk.
Ooh.
So, the crawling stage is sort of crawling along with flappy jumps, kind of thing.
I love this.
I know, I like that
and-
a lot.
So you get to a stage in sort of early toddler years where he's able to fly and then has to be convinced to not fly so he can learn how to walk.
Mm.
I have some concerns about baby proofing the house,
Yeah.
but like that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that if you were a species where this is standard,
You'd already have that figured
Yeah.
out.
yeah,
Plus, yeah. plus we're in-
three-dimensional cots or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And we're in like a space station, so I feel like there's like some fancy like tech to like deal
Yeah, I'd also imagine that the space station itself, because it has this species on board, it's not claustrophobic.
with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably got really high ceilings.
Yeah,
Oh, there's people walking and then there's people flying down the same hallway.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, we're in space, so like you could just keep building. There's like an infinite amount of room.
Just keep building outwards.
I remember a description, if you forgive me this little tangent, from the Space Odyssey series, the book 3001, which was the last in the series. There was a description of a space station in that, which was a cylinder, and the central core was a massive area. And although the characters were still human, you could have the opportunity to hire wings and fly through this area.
So like the
Um,
whole inside, it's like hollow, and then everything's around that.
Yeah,
I love it.
because it's more hard sci-fi. The cylinder spins to generate gravity on the inside. So you've got a massive central core, which is empty space. And it's pseudo zero G, or fairly close. So it's easy to fly.
That makes sense.
I like this.
I like it. So bringing it
Space
back
station.
to our lady,
Yeah.
why does like Arcturus want to be light? Like, why do you want to be more like her? Like that. So I get the like she's beautiful because she's light, but what about her?
I'm wondering, carrying on with the angelic idea,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if the elders of this species actually have an inherent glow to them, but the children don't. And so Arcturus wants to be more like her because she's glowing, and it allows him to shortcut the aging process, as it were, and he gets to glow a bit earlier because glowing is cool.
Okay.
Any
Would-
other questions?
Yeah. Absolutely. Hang on.
Okay, come on.
Morgan, do you got any before I like?
So like do they just start gradually glowing, or is it just like you hit a certain age and it's like, bam, I am a glow stick? Do they glow as much as the lady does, or is it more subtle?
I'd say it's more subtle.
Do they stop glowing when they're sleeping?
This is the really important. That's the really important question because that would be so annoying.
Well, the question would be, do they sleep?
Oh, dang.
Do they sleep?
I'm going to say no. Well, no, I'm going to say the younger ones do. And then as they get older to the age when they do start glowing, and I'd imagine initially it's a sort of subtle luminescence rather than actually emitting light, as it were. The sort of the initial luminescence would be the sort of thing that same as with bioluminescence, you don't see it when it's brightly lit because the ambient light is too light to see the glow. But when the lights are out, they glow, right? So imagine that sort of thing. And I reckon that when they get to a certain age, it's like the sort of classical elves. They, rather than sleep, they just go into a sort of meditative trance.
And they still glow.
And they still glow.
I still feel like that'd be annoying. All right.
I don't know.
All right. No. I as a person who wakes up when the sun is up, that's all I'm saying. Like for me,
Yeah,
that.
but
means...
we're human. We're adapted to that.
I know.
We're coming up with fictional alien species. We can do
I
what we like.
know, and it's great for them. I'm just saying, me as a human would not like that. Okay. So, would Arcturus assume this is an adult of his species? Would he go over and try and speak with her?
No, because she's too bright. I don't think he'd be scared as such. I think it would be a cautious fascination. He would be flying at this point, sort of in the middle of the room.
What did he start flying as soon as she came out of the cabinet, or did he start flying when Zips got light splashed?
I'd imagine sort of in between the two. So she came out of the cabinet and started glowing, and you start getting the sort of pulsing before Zips went over. And I think that sort of warm pulsing and energy just instinctively caused him to start flapping his wings. And so almost, and I mean, flying would be a subconscious thing anyway. It's like it would be like walking for us. He wouldn't necessarily be entirely aware that that's what he's doing, and just suddenly realize that he's several feet off the ground or something. So I think he's sort of entranced.
Now, Zips started glowing when they touched the lady. Would that make Arcturus want to touch her since he wants to glow?
Ooh, good question.
I don't think he's paying attention. I reckon he's there in the middle of the room, just staring in trance. He's not actually paying attention to what's going on in the room. Until one of you call him or something.
I was literally gonna say, I feel like Reams's like water body like thing kind of like shimmies up in like a little like long point and kind of like grabs Arcturus by the foot and starts pulling him back down from where he's flying. Like, hey, because I think, like you were saying, like he did this like he did this without thinking,
Yeah.
right? So I think this probably happens every once in a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Is
And
that okay?
as you're pulling him down, at one point, one of the wing beats accidentally whacks you over the head, and he suddenly comes out of the trance and goes, "Oh, what's going on?"
Yeah. Okay.
Am I allowed to ask Jess a question? I know it's Anton's turn, but you just did a thing, and I have a question about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can your character, like, does your character have, like, set limbs, or can they just grab people with whatever part of their body is closest?
I'm imagining that naturally they look kind of like an amoeba.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Kind of like
Kind of
Kinda
blob
like-
shaped?
kind of globulous, but they do kind of focus their forms somewhat vertically because a lot of forms on this station seem to take a vertical stance. Otherwise, they might be a little bit more low-lying, a little more spread out. But the way things move here, they would get stepped on a lot if they did that, I think. So I think they take somewhat of a more vertical-ish shape, but they're kind of like, you know, sometimes they like their bottom half is kind of over here and then it goes like womp 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 and then it's up here. Or sometimes like they would look like, do you ever see like Flubber? Like they'd be like a little, like almost like that. I think that, like I said, I think to mimic a lot of the other species here and be to match kind of the framing and like how stuff works, like doors and things, they sometimes will make little like arms, but they can also do like what I just described where they just will like put up one long, almost like a tentacle, but not exact, like not,
Pseudopod.
yeah, like almost like a little, they'll make a limb they didn't have any like hanging out before and just go up and grab and pull back down. They're kind of morph, like, if that makes sense.
I love it.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah. So Reams, after you whack them in the head, to be like, Arcturus, is that one of your old people?
No.
Because we just know like a little, like we don't know super well. Like you would know your people pretty well, but I don't think we would know as well. They just get glowy.
They don't glow that much.
I think when you say that, the light changes shape. And they're like, and the same voice that called from the cabinet is like, once again, anyone can do this. It doesn't have to be me. We mean you no harm. Is this better? And they like change to be smaller because they were like a pillar. They were like almost the height of the whole room. And then they like shrink back down. And now they're like just a little light, but they're still glowing immensely. Oh, that's definitely not one of your old people.
I've never seen your old people do that.
No, they kind of have fixed shapes.
Also, they feel more solid when you touch them.
That's generally because they are.
Oh, Sips, it touched you. Are you okay?
It's
Are you still
warm.
glowing?
Are you still glowing?
I think when the lady like shrunk down, she was probably no longer touching me, so I think I wasn't. I think we weren't glowing anymore.
I poke you.
But
Like,
we feel the same as we usually do.
okay.
Right. how much are we going to role play this out?
Yeah,
Are we going to
yeah,
carry on with the questions?
I was gonna say, does anyone have any questions for this card, or should we move on to Morgan's card?
Because the problem is, we could just switch to fully role playing this, and then you end
No,
up throwing the game out.
we could see what the next card has to say.
All right.
Ah.
What prayers does she teach you? How does she ask you to show adoration?
So she's gonna
That's
teach
like-
us something and then ask for something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be worth sort of modifying the understanding of the words for the setting. I don't think you'd exactly have prayers and adoration.
I mean, why not? There can be space religions.
True, true.
And in this context, prayers could be a little more open-ended.
Yeah, well, what I mean is we could change the context.
Yeah.
I think if the light starts kind of like she doesn't stay like fixed in the same spot. I think she kind of sways a little. I think she kind of bobs up and down. And I think like very quickly, because we're just staring at this light, I think Zips will start kind of following its movement. And it's almost like a dance, but significantly less intricate. I don't know that she's actually like intentionally trying to teach us to do this, but I think that's just what Zips does when they see her doing that. It just feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Do you think that they're kind of like charmed by her, or?
I think they are, because she felt very warm
Yeah.
when she made us glow. So I think that and I think living on a space station, it's not like a particularly warm place. Like people have tried to make it feel like home, but it's still like hard and kind of cold, and it's all like metal and stuff. And this is something new, and we're just kind of a little bit like captivated by it. The second question, I guess this is where we figure out what she actually wants.
Absolutely. So far, you're copying these movements she has,
Yeah.
and it's almost like kind of entrancing. Do you think she's communicating anything?
I mean, I imagine she's probably saying something to us, because you don't just like appear out of a cabinet out of nowhere for no reason.
Okay, what is she saying?
So I think she's already told us not to be afraid of her and that she doesn't want to hurt us. I think she's lost.
Ooh.
I think she knows she's not supposed to be here. I think this wasn't where she was intending on going. And I think she wants help trying to get where she's supposed to be.
Okay. So, is this her teaching us something and then asking us something? Like, her offering us something in exchange for help? Maybe?
I don't know that she's specifically offering anything. I think she just showed up wanting help.
Mhm.
And she found 3 children and was like, well, let's ask these people.
Does she know that we're children?
I don't think so. I'm assuming there's not other people in this room either, because if there were, they'd probably be freaking out.
I was assuming no. I was assuming we had, like, gone off to do, like, kid things.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm assuming we found, like, this, like, sort of... You know, there's probably, like, tons of really good hiding places in a space station.
Yep.
And
Storage areas and...
Yeah, we've probably found one that we really like that we meet up in, and she just happened to wind up in our little, like, storage area clubhouse type place.
Yeah.
So, how is she asking us for help?
I think Zips will start copying her movements, and she'll... I think she is pulsing again as well, but I think it's a little bit faster. Because I think she's trying to get, like, her point across. Like, this is very urgent. And I think she'll say something like, "This is not where I'm supposed to be."
You... She's pulsing that?
Yeah, I think she's like... I think she might be a little bit freaked out.
Can we all understand her, or can only
Yeah, I
Zips
think
right now?
she's saying that with her voice while she's
Okay.
flashing. I need to not do that with my hand because my hand doesn't like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think she just... And then she says, how do I want to word this? This is not where I'm supposed to be. Can you help me?
Look around at other kids. What? I mean, When you say this isn't where you're supposed to be, do you mean you want to go into another room? Because we could, like, help you get into another room. If you mean, like, out in space, that's a little trickier.
In space?
Point. Like, I feel like there's like a window or something, and, like, you know, all rooms that are on kind of like the edge have at least a small window.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say we're in a room that has one of the windows.
of course.
And I'm gonna point space, outside, out there, like darkness, mostly darkness, and then some stars and planets. Space. I mean, is that incorrect? Like,
Where am I?
Deneb Station.
I think she'll start like moving even faster.
Huh.
And I think Zips has their stick sword out again
Yeah.
because this lady is freaking out.
Yeah.
And that's freaking Zips out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What does Zips do with the stick? I'm so worried.
I think like Zips doesn't want to hurt this whatever it is.
Mhm.
Zips is pretty sure they can't hurt a light. But like they need to feel like they can defend themselves. Cause the light isn't happy.
Okay.
And usually when things aren't happy, something bad happens.
Are we deciding that this is now a trans-dimensional being?
I mean, maybe. Its form seems to be mostly light.
Are you poking the light? Are you with the stick? It started like it spoke and then it started flashing faster, and that concerned you, and also it sounded upset,
think
right?
Zips actually steps back,
Okay.
like further away from the light.
Okay. That's fair.
They were
Is
like
there-
they were like scared of it at first,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "Oh, it's okay. It gave me a space hug." And then they were like, "Nope, it's freaking out. Don't like that."
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, Reams is fairly amorphous, so they're gonna take a step forward. Because generally, like, I think Reams sees Zip's concern, and seeing as, like, Reams, I don't think can be harmed as much by sudden force because of their lack of things to damage.
They've probably been hit a number of times by Arctus's wings, and that's why they're the ones that usually grabs him when he just zones out.
I think taking this, taking this, seeing Zip's reaction, they're going to be like, oh, this is one of those things. Bad stuff could happen. Maybe and like goes to like step forward and kind of changes their shape to be a little bit more shield shaped. and then is like, are you gonna blow? Things usually like light up and flash in the holotapes when they're about to explode. Are you okay?
I'm not gonna explode. I just don't know where I am or how to get where I'm supposed to be.
I mean, Arcturus is really good with computers. Maybe he can look it up for you. Do you know, like, approximate coordinates? Ooh, do they speak a different language? So maybe they say it to us, but, like, in an incomprehensible way?
Yeah, I think they do. I think maybe their idea of coordinates works differently from ours.
Okay. And Arcturus just hears these and goes, I don't understand that.
I think they'll just repeat it.
Yes.
Ooh.
They don't understand. Speak louder and more slowly.
Ooh, I have a thing. Can I say a thing?
Okay.
Can I say it? I'm going to propose it, and then y'all take it. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Does them repeating this thing become either the prayer or the thing? Like, does it get in our head and we, like, just hear it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we all hear it in our head?
I like that.
Like, and it's not even words in our sense of, like, words.
Like an earworm.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
It does. It probably... I mean,
It's
Morgan,
like...
What does it sound like, Morgan? Your turn. Does it sound musical? Does it sound...
Yeah, I think it's, like, got a little bit of, like, a rhythm to it. I think it sounds like... almost like a, like there's a bit of like a musical tone to it, but on top of that it's kind of like a campfire.
Ooh. Like, so there's a musical tone, but also like a feeling?
Yeah, and it's got those like the crackling and the popping.
Ooh, okay. Because
like it's almost like layered.
Yeah, because I was actually gonna ask if it was
we're just like repeating it, like, you know, when like a kid learns a new phrase and they just keep saying it.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, I don't know where you learned that, but probably you shouldn't be repeating it.
Mm-hmm. That's super interesting. Are they pleased that we're now repeating this thing? That
I think they stop flashing like so violently.
Are you messing with the sound?
I changed it a little while ago. I changed it so it's not on just the sad sound anymore. This is the more sci-fi soundtrack, which is why there's occasionally like just droid noises in this one. Okay. So we all have this in our head, and that actually seems to have appeased her a little bit, right? Like it's calmed her down.
Yeah.
We're like,
And like, I don't think Zips would recognize it's because she's like, oh, okay, these children get it. They
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying to them. Or if Zips is just like, oh, saying these things makes the light happy, so let's just keep saying it.
I love it. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. So, are we
Any
done with
more
spring?
questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, if this is, are there any more questions or comments? Okay, I just, since we're ending spring and we're gonna move into summer, I just want to ask. So, does the rest of this season look like us three walking around the space station, speaking an alien incomprehensible language?
Yes.
I like it.
It absolutely does. And I mean, we're probably butchering it because we don't know what we're saying.
But it makes our little light friend happy, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're kids, everybody just goes, oh, they're just playing.
Yeah. I like it. Perfect. I'm cool with that,
Cool.
if y'all are cool with that.
I am.
Yep.
I love it.
Okay. Anton, you pulled and read the spring season, right? Morgan, do you
Yep.
want to pull out and read the
Sure.
summer season?
Summer.
And then I will draw the first summer card.
In the summer, the visitation is revealed. Some people may have even seen miracles of the lady for themselves. This is a time of wonder and revolution, gifts and worship.
I'm gonna pull the first. I'm gonna shuffle. I keep shuffling before we go in. Okay, here we go. Ah, interesting. People start to present you with gifts. What are they? What do you do with them? Okay, so I'm gonna say this is the other kids, because the adults were all like, oh, these are just kids being kids, right? Like, walking around speaking this weird language. But the other kids are like, that's cool, teach me, I want to learn how to do it. Like, what's the... You know what I mean? The other kids are like... I think maybe even some of them, like, made fun of us at first, or still some of them are like, that's dumb, but some of them are like, that's really cool. Because it sounds like nothing. Like, this is a station full of, like, this wide variety of creatures and sentient beings of all different cultures and makes and models and, like, everything. And no one's ever heard anything like this before. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say that some of the kids are like, teach us, teach us, teach us. And maybe, like, you know, we teach one or two of our, like, actual, like, good friends at first, but then we're like, I don't know, this is special. And then the other kids are like, what if I gave you this? Like, you know what I mean? Then would you teach? So what are the other kids giving us? What's cool on a space station? I mean, it could literally be like they offered to do our space chores. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has, like, on a station, everyone has to pitch in. I feel like. So maybe they'll like, hey, I'll do your, like, this duty. If you'll teach me the, like, the cool song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like snacks are also like a decent bribe for children.
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, I'm an adult and I can be easily bribed with snacks. So
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah, so it's probably a mix of things, right?
I had a sign up at work for years that said, I work for cookies.
I like it. Okay. So there are kids giving us their snacks. There are kids doing our chores for us. What do you do with them? I'm gonna say we... I mean, I think, like, we have snacks and more time on our hands. Do we go and ask the lady if she'll teach us more songs? Because this is working out pretty good for us. Maybe we're like, hey, we've been, like, sharing your song with more people. You know, we've been sharing your location information around the station. Location information station. And maybe she even thinks this means that we're helping, like we're trying to find, like maybe she even thinks this means we're trying to find her. I feel so bad. This is oh my goodness. There's this unique being on our station that needs help. And we're like, this
They rolled a 1 on their communication check.
Yeah, oh no. Goodness gracious. This is like, yeah, and we're just like,
I also think it's really funny because like in the rules for the game, it's like, yeah, she appears and then she'll tell you she'll come back in a year. But we're just like, nope, she's stuck here because we don't know where she came from.
yeah. I mean, she could still disappear at some point, but I don't know if she has yet. I feel like she hasn't. Personally, I mean, people can disagree, but I personally feel like she hasn't. We haven't had any story reason why yet for her to be, like, gone. I think she's mostly still hiding out.
Yeah, and I mean, we are going around talking in this secret language, so it looks like we're trying to help her.
Yeah, like she would, like, and if we're like, we've gone around and we've shared it to lots of people. Do you have, like, more things to tell us? And we can, like, go and communicate that more? Because, like, I think, yeah, so I think what we do with the presents and the extra time we have, because people are doing our chores and giving us presents, is we go and, like, spend more time with her, and we're like, hey, teach us more stuff, and we learn more of this alien language. And I want to say, if it's okay with everyone, I want to say that there's some, can't remember the heckin' term for it, but, like, sense-defying stuff in it, where, like, we learn to speak light. Like, not fully, not to that extent yet, but I'm, like, how she communicates is across a number of different wavelengths and senses.
Yeah, well, and I mean, just like the way that she flickers, I feel like is like part of her communication.
Mm-hmm.
And that could like tell you maybe like how she's feeling or any number of things.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing that we necessarily can replicate.
Yeah.
But
I think we could kind of try. Ooh. I'll wait until a card says it, but otherwise it'd be really cool. No, I'm gonna wait to see if any of the cards tell us we have a thing. But yeah, I think we go and we speak to, and I think there's some speaking, some singing, some movement involved. So it went from us going around the station weird speak singing to weird speak sing dancing. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Anton?
I mean, this is something that may come up in another card, but I was wondering whether, almost by accident, she gives us the ability to glow slightly and pulse.
That's what I was gonna say too, and I was like waiting. I
was
like it.
thinking like because there was like a culture in Name of the Wind where when they're talking they use hand signals to like share their feelings on things.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's what I was thinking, but that's cool. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to glow.
Who doesn't want to glow?
Yeah. This would be like, this is pretty. If she gave us the ability to like glow, this is gonna start to become much more noticeable.
Yeah, I think the adults wouldn't like would stop thinking that we're just kids playing.
Mm-hmm. Well, if no one has any more questions, why don't we see what the next card says?
Yeah.
Unless, does anyone have anything, or we get to the next card? I think.
I mean, I think we've answered both of those.
Yeah, I think so too. Ah, this matches it. I knew it. I was like, it's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. Okay.
She performs a miracle that a few others see. What was it? How does this help your cause? So, subtly, she gives us the ability to glow. And I don't think it's intentional.
Ooh.
I think it's she's starting to learn that we're not really understanding what she's telling us. And she's getting a bit frustrated with us. And so the pulsing is a bit stronger. You feel the waves more as she's trying to get through to us, and that does something when it gets to a point where the energy there is that something transfers, and we innately acquire this ability to pulse ourselves. Not super obviously, but to a sort of weaker extent. Others see it, so I reckon that there's a few other kids in the area who have worked out where we go. They worked out this hiding place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 kids who have been sort of looking through a gap in the door as we've been having these conversations. And at the point that this happens, they see it. And I think maybe 1 or 2 of them get a bit scared, but I reckon most of them will just go, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah.
That's a few others seeing it. How does this help us?
Well, is it the fact that others see it that help, or the fact that the miracle that happened helps? Could be either.
Yeah. Well, it does say, how does this help your cause? So in this case, is our cause like helping her? Is it?
I think so.
Like, cause we're kids, but we do mean well, even if we're not good at it.
Yeah.
We have like walked up to a few adults and been like, blah 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 blah.
So I reckon now that we've acquired this ability to pulse, and it's instinctive. subconscious and instinctive. So we're now pulsing with our own sort of emotional state, as the light had done with us. And so, of course, we then have that. Of course, at some point, we will have a conversation with an adult in this state.
In our glow state?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a way that would help without everybody just freaking out and going,
Can we control the glowing? Or no, it just happens?
no, it just happens.
Can we turn it off? Do we glow when we sleep?
The most important question of all. Maybe do we need to spend time?
I'd say that it's associated with
Emotion?
emotional state. So if you're calm, if you're sleeping, it disappears. But as you get agitated or excited, then you start pulsing.
Do we have to, like, do we spend some time with her learning how to control it? To get, like, a little, otherwise we just freak out and glow like a light bulb at first, like, ah! Like, or...
I don't know, because I don't think we'd necessarily understand.
Okay.
And I don't think she would understand either. It's just something that happened accidentally.
Interesting. All right.
Although we might portray it as something very cool. Hey, look, I can do this now.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
been touched.
Or I could go, hey, look, I'm an adult now.
Is that how it helps?
Have we told the other kids about the lady?
Well,
Or are we just teaching them our secret language?
Well, some of them now know because they've seen. We may then sort of talk about it.
But before people saw her. Like, were we just saying, like, hey, we made up this really cool language and all of the cool kids are speaking it and you want in on this? Or were we being like, yo, we found this really cool person and she taught us this?
I'd say in between two. We wouldn't necessarily describe her as a person. But it was a cool flashing light or something.
I mean, I would describe it as a person.
But you're saying, like, that's not how we describe it to others?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
does Arcturus not think that this person who taught us language and light manipulation is a person?
It's an interesting light artifact with sound and
Arcturus, do you think she's a fancy light bulb?
maybe.
How many light bulbs have taught you a new language?
Well, I mean, we have holograms and things.
Okay, but I thought we agreed, like, and Reams looks all around the group, I thought we agreed that she didn't come from the ship.
True. Could be an alien light bulb.
Hi readers, welcome on in. I'm just gonna say really quick, we're playing a tabletop role-playing game called Our Lady. Welcome on in. We are
Made
in
by this
space.
lovely person.
And we're three kids in space. We have met a space lady who's teaching us awesome light show song languages. And we were just having a little discussion about what we thought our kids' comprehension of her
About
kind of
whether
was.
she's a person or not.
Whether she's a person or not. Apparently, Arcturus thinks that she's an alien light bulb.
A fancy alien light bulb.
A very
It's trying to
fancy alien.
I mean, you could say it as a sort of communication device.
We've
Rather,
never seen a light bulb get upset before, and she definitely has been upset before. So we don't think that she's an alien light bulb. We're pretty sure she's a person.
Yeah. I have to agree with Zips on this one, Arcturus. I'm pretty sure she's
Okay.
people.
She's a person. She's a person. Fine. Weird flashing light person.
I mean, your people do flashing lights too. Does that make you an
Oh.
alien light bulb?
Oh, Zips got a good point there, Arcturus. Boom.
We're a bit more corporeal.
I move my amorphous body around, and I'm like, excuse me, you don't
Reeves
have
is
to.
not particularly corporeal. And
You know,
they're a person.
Not all of us have to have, fleshy physical forms to be people.
Arctis, we think that you have a very narrow definition of what a person is, and that's a problem.
Right, moving on.
Okay. Okay. If there's no more questions, do you want to draw a card, Morgan?
Sure. Well, did we answer how it helps our cause, though?
Oh yeah, how did we say this helps our cause? We now glow and flash. Some people have seen it, so some of the other kids now are also like, yeah, dang. They're also off having the discussion light bulb or person. This heated discussion.
Those three weirdos are just in the basement talking to a light bulb.
A flying, talking, expanding, singing light bulb.
Okay, thought. Let's extend this a bit further. Does our pulsing capability
Uh-huh.
give us the ability in some way
Huh?
of talking to the space station?
Ooh.
Does because the pulsing has a physical aspect to it, and
Right.
of course the space station itself will have a lot of energy flow through it.
Are you thinking of this as like an energy transfer thing or as like a binary thing?
Hmm.
What with the space station?
With the pulsing.
Um, well, not binary. It's not on and off, but it's
I mean, it kind of is though. Because we're not just steadily glowing and then not glowing at all.
yeah. It's
It comes and
yeah. It's a wave.
yeah.
But I mean, in terms of, I'd also see it as being a sort of pressure wave as well. So, if say the other kids were to get close, they'd feel wave radiation coming
Like a
off us.
vibration, sort of.
Yeah, subtly. And I reckon that, say we were to touch one of the walls of the space station, although we wouldn't necessarily know it initially, that pulsing can interface with the energy flow going around the space station.
So like, because the space station is obviously always on, it probably has this like perpetual hum to it. Like engines
Yes.
move.
And I mean,
Can our pulsing change how the space station moves?
Oh no! Is us singing the coordinates gonna move the station to the coordinates?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh my god,
I
I
love that idea.
I
haven't
really
thought
like
of that. I was thinking very initially a sort of AI type communication with the station, as in so my initial thought, if you think of Star Wars droids, they poke into an interface port and talk to the station, right? So I was thinking, in my initial idea was the idea of some kind of subconscious passive communication with the station. If we
But
were
like
to
the pulsing could be like a subconscious passing of information to the station that we don't
It
necessarily
could.
know about.
Now, does the station itself have an AI that would be able to interpret this?
I think maybe a better question is, does the station itself have an AI that wouldn't recognize that this is happening?
So it's just carrying on regardless,
I
whilst
think
we're
we're
subtly
not like
altering the
maybe we're
coordinates.
yeah, I think maybe we're not necessarily interfacing with the computers or the AI controlling the station. We're interfacing with like the engines themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
This is
I
space,
like
so I
it.
guess it doesn't really need to make sense, but like
yeah. I like it. I like it. My brain is now just going, well, the AI will detect that the engines are doing this and go, tell them to stop. But we'll ignore that for now.
well,
Oh, the
the
AI
AI
could
might
just
do
go,
that.
the engines are doing this. Okay, I'm going to go along with that.
Or alternatively, could the AI be trying to stop it and it just won't, and it's like, well, darn.
Or we could just say this is happening, and we decide the consequences of it later.
Well, yes. We
Mhm.
don't know where we are sending this spaceship.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So
We don't even really know we're doing it fully yet.
We really don't.
we are communicating with the space station, with the engines.
Do you think that the more people we get repeating this, like, coordinate song dance thing, the stronger our influence over the ship is, and maybe that's how it's helping?
I don't have the answer here. I just like how innocuous this space coordinate song seemed at first. And now
Yeah.
it's like,
Genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, because the other thing is, there's all sorts of species on this station.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily communicate in a humanoid manner. So you could find that some of the species are picking this up, and the way that they communicate it onwards is also themselves through a set of pulses. So yeah,
it's
I like that idea.
the message is
So-
changing almost. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and as people are picking it up, yeah, originally it was very discordant because we didn't get it correctly. But as more people start doing it people start correcting themselves
Ooh.
to be in harmony. A modern day example of this: if you walk across a bridge, your natural inclination is to walk in step with the other people on the bridge, which is a very bad thing because the bridge then wobbles. Ignore that. That's why you have the wobbly bridge in London. It wasn't dampened enough, and people were walking along it. Because of the vibrations in the bridge, people naturally harmonize in step with each other as they cross the bridge.
So all of the people that we have taught this song coordinates to are doing basically that.
Yeah, so even if they picked it up wrong initially, as everybody starts getting it right, you acquire a sort of resonance, and everybody gradually actually corrects themselves.
The whole station is learning. I love it. That's so good.
And
I love this, and it's also the creepiest thing.
It's so good. Well, I like how, like, honestly, at the beginning it seemed like, well, she seems pretty, like, powerless. This seems pretty innocuous. This all seems pretty, like, mild. And it's really, like, it's really spread out and become, like, a thing. And I just really like that. So when it says...
fair, I think half of these end up being fairly creepy anyway.
So when it says, how does this help your cause? Do we even realize it's helping her cause? For sure. Do we
Right.
realize this?
No,
I don't think we have a clue that we've done this.
no,
Love
it
it.
just happens.
I love it. Okay.
It,
Mark.
what happens is it feels right to everybody. It's like you're in a it's like going out into a natural environment and everything just feels right, feels fresh.
And
You know?
and she's, I think the more we do it, the happier she is.
I love that.
And she may actually feed into it herself.
Are we ready for the next poll?
Okay.
Otherwise, we're never going to finish this.
Nope. We gotta keep. This is why I said one card each per season, because I was like, this is gonna happen.
Who doesn't believe you, and how do they threaten you? I think there is absolutely, like, I think somebody in chat mentioned that, like, oh, like, the newest game on the ship for the kids to play is it a person or a light bulb? And they just question all the light bulb.
It's all the,
I think-
so it's light bulb squad.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, like, a group of kids that just are like, man, like, y'all are, like, real weird, real messed up. You're just talking to a light bulb, and that's not cool. Like, when was that ever cool? So I think there's definitely, like, a bunch of kids that are, mostly just, you know, they don't get it.
And so they're not perpetuating the song.
They're not
don't.
perpetuating the song because they're like, they're too cool for that, first off.
Okay, I like it.
And also, how do they threaten you? Maybe they, like, because we've got all these kids are, like, doing our chores and giving us snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if word gets out that we've got all these snacks, somebody's gonna want our snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe they would, like, but then on the other hand, we've also got, you know, there's probably some consequences for us driving the space station off course.
Assuming anybody notices.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is anyone really like?
Like, I assume there's probably somebody somewhere on the ship that is like, this
Very
spaceship was built
confused.
for this purpose. And, like, you know, like somebody plotted the course for this space station. And whether that's just to, like, rotate around a specific planet or something, or if we're trying to travel somewhere, maybe it's like, you know, an intergenerational ship and we're trying to find a new planet. I don't know. But there was at some point a course plotted for this space station. And we're no longer on it.
Yeah, I think I was just imagining that, like, we were far enough out in the void that there weren't enough physical markers nearby for it to be,
Reference
like,
points,
really,
yeah.
for it to be super
Okay.
noticeable at first. That was my only thought. But I
Yeah.
also think I'm the one here that knows the least about space. I'm just gonna be honest. So, I am the least sci-fi learned.
I mean, generally, when you launch something off
Yeah.
the planet, you have a course charted for it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, usually an end to that course in mind.
I mean, my assumption was that if it was a moderately static space station, that it could have been set up such that the course corrections to keep it in its location are all automated, and so nobody's actually paying attention, other than
Okay,
an AI that happens to be on board that's responsible for this.
So maybe we're not being threatened by whoever's in charge of where the space station is going.
Mm.
We have just commandeered an entire space station accidentally without knowing.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some kids who probably want our snacks and
Yeah.
are maybe a little bit resentful that we haven't done any work in a long time.
That's true. We're getting off like.
So, how do they threaten us?
I mean, I think definitely like say I think they try to like blackmail us into doing their work. Like, we'll tell your parents that you're not working when you say that you are. Or whatever.
Okay.
Because, I mean, Zips has definitely just let their parents keep believing that they're leaving their
To do
quarters
chores.
to go do chores.
Yeah, that makes sense. That seems like a kid thing to do, honestly.
Yes, Mum, I am actually going to the library to study.
Yeah.
I'm not going around my friend's house playing video games. Honest.
Exactly. So, I think... And if these children tell Zips, at least Zips' parents, that we're not doing what we say we are, Zips is definitely gonna get in trouble.
That makes sense to me. Okay. Well, it doesn't propose we need a resolution to the problem yet.
It does not.
It just proposes there's a problem.
There's a problem. I think we've come up with a number of problems now.
Yeah. It's true. There are problems we're aware of. We as kids think the biggest problem is that our chore break and our snacks are in danger.
Yes.
What we don't know / think is a problem is that our entire space station is off course.
Where are we going? We don't know. Are we gonna crash into anything on our way there? Who knows?
I like this. Are there any more questions? If there's no more questions, I'm gonna say this is the perfect place to take a break.
Well,
Alright.
All right, y'all, we're gonna get up, we're gonna do a stretch, we're gonna get a drink. Y'all should do the same. This is Utter Chaos, and I love it. I know, right, Beans? This is going so well. I'm gonna say very, very well.
marvelously.
I'm very excited about this. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us for our indie game spotlight. We will be back in just a few. We encourage you also to don't forget to do a hydrate, do a stretch, take care of you. Self-care, very important. We'll be back with more of this story to finish off with fall and winter when we get back. So, see you in a few. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from break. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. How y'all doing? Hope you remembered to do a hydrate. Oh my goodness gracious. I was hitting the wrong button. I thought I was like changing the volume and I was not. There we go. We're gonna do that. Thought I had changed the volume for stream and I did not. Hi everyone. How's it going? Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for hanging out. If anyone arrived during break, we are playing a game of Our Lady, which is about kids getting a visitation and then how they deal with it over the course of a year. So far we have done spring and summer. We are on a space station and it is now moving in a direction that we have no control over and we don't realize we did it. Well, I mean, the light did it through us. Kind of?
Basically hailed a space station like it was a taxi.
I mean, what would you do if you were just, like, lost in space?
Was she lost?
Well,
That's what she told us.
That's what
There's
she
a
told
whole
us.
TV series that answers that question.
So we're gonna move on to the fall now. It's moving in the direction of light. Yeah. So Morgan, you read the last one. Anton, do you want to read fall? Do you want to pull out?
Yeah.
I can drag
Sure.
it out. You want to read
Okay.
that? Let's move that over. You really have to be careful with those light bulbs. People. I mean.
Fall is the season of change. How will you handle it?
That's not ominous at all. This is gonna go very well. I have a good feeling. I'm gonna pull the first fall card. Ooh, interesting! Does this mean we realize something? Okay, so, for anyone seeing here on screen is our first fall card, and it is, what questions do you have for her? Does she answer them? Does this mean we realize something is up? And we're like, hey, light bulb. No, we should have a name. Have in all this time, have we asked a name of her?
I feel like at some point we would have.
Yeah.
After we have convinced Arcturus that she's definitely a person.
Have we convinced Arcturus that she's a person?
Well, he stopped arguing with us on it.
That's true.
As far as Zips is concerned, if he stopped arguing, that means Zips won.
This is fairly standard argument logic. Yes, I'll give you that.
Do we offer her names and she selects one?
I mean, she probably has a name.
Yeah,
Maybe
but it
it's
might be
one of the
Is it
various things
pronounceable,
that she's
though?
taught us.
Yeah, but does she give
Well,
us one
you-
that's pronounceable to our tongues so that we can
Yeah,
say
I mean,
it?
if we ask for a name, it's probably a combination of sounds and pulses and something.
Mm-hmm. So I was gonna suggest either Celeste or Polaris.
I like Celeste.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think because there is a star named Polaris, and unless we're going for the stars are people, which
But
is,
maybe they are
I
Morgan.
mean, maybe they are. They could be.
We have
I'm
a
not supposed to
star on
reveal
our
that yet.
She was a star all along.
Right, that's the conclusion. Right, bye.
No, we're done. That's it. We finished the game. Okay.
I mean, I love it as a concept.
Okay, well we'll see. So yeah, so is it like, do we realize something? Do we realize maybe I don't know if we would realize that the ship is off. I don't know why we 3 kids would know that the ship was off when other people didn't, unless other people did too, and they told us.
Maybe if other people did, and like we're kids, we probably sneak around places. Maybe we overheard some adults saying something, because that's possible.
Well, maybe
But if
the
this is a
station
ship that-
feels different.
Yeah, that was my other question. Or maybe like it's not that we legitimately know that that we're headed in the wrong direction, but we know something's
Because if our pulsing has been communicating with the station moving off could communicate and could change the feeling of the resonance of the station.
Does the station start resonating in a way that mimics the pulsing?
I mean, if we're powering on all the engines, yes.
Would we notice that the way that the station's humming sounds very much like the language that we've been teaching people?
I think we would be more attuned to it. Yes. I don't think it would be so obvious to the general population, but I think because we've acquired that ability to pulse. We notice it. I keep being thrown by these droid sounds in my ear.
I love them so much.
Well,
My brain enjoy.
I've turned the volume down on it halfway. That it sort of it's just little bits that peak loud
Yeah.
enough for me to hear them. Like,
Yeah, just like the droid boops are the last part for me too. So do we maybe we don't even fully understand, but we know like something is up? Is that sort of what it is? And we go and ask her
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Hey Celeste, like feels like there's something kind of weird with the ship. Do you feel that? Like is that and I'm just wondering, okay, so we ask her about it. Does she answer? I'm wondering if she does, but not like maybe she doesn't.
Does she know?
I'm,
Does she
I'm,
know what she's done?
I'm wondering if she's suddenly worked out that all this has caused the station to move and it's starting to head in the direction that she wants it to. So she just starts playing along and
I'll
going,
say,
no,
yeah,
this is as expected.
well, I'm gonna say what I think. I don't think she answers our question so much in that, like, because we're asking from our perspective, like, is something wrong? And I think from her perspective, she's like, no, nothing's wrong. You're speaking the words, and now the words are happening. You know what I mean? I think from her perspective, she's just like, she probably genuinely thought, because we did have intent to help. And I think she sensed that intent to help. And when stuff started happening, she was like, oh yes, they're helping.
Yeah,
Do you know
so
what I
there's
mean?
nothing wrong because
No,
we've
yeah.
helped and it's working.
Yeah.
So
she's
I have
so
a question.
okay.
Did she come here intending for this to happen?
That's a really good question, and I don't know.
Well,
Like, our characters probably wouldn't know this.
Yeah.
But if she knows what's going on, did she do this on purpose? Or is this like a, hey, actually, these kids are useful?
yeah, I'd say the latter because she arrived not disillusioned.
Confused?
Confused.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, was she really confused, or is she just really good at acting?
I'd like to think that she's actually confused. She's just appeared there, not knowing what's happened. I think that's more interesting.
See, I liked that at first. When you first said it, I like was agreeing with you, Anton, where I was like, yeah, no, I think she's just I think it's a misunderstanding where we don't know we're doing it and she thinks we're doing it to help. So if we say to her like there's something wrong going on, she's like, no, it isn't. You're saying the coordinates and now we're headed to the coordinates. You said you would help and now you are helping. So we're just from her perspective going along with her words. However, did the idea of does she want to move us to this location? Because something interesting will happen when we get there is very fun.
The idea that she's just powerful enough to to call up a space station and act like it's her Uber ride. Like, yeah, it's a very slow one, but we're in space. Things take time to get to.
Mhm.
I think that's a really interesting, like, I think that makes her an even more interesting character. Definitely super evil and creepy, but like,
But is she
I mean, maybe
evil?
not. Maybe something good's gonna happen, but like,
Well, maybe she was sent there to move the station because something was going to happen to the station.
See, I was thinking something like that too. I was like, what if she's moving the station because she like, there's something better for us at this end than was for us at our original location.
I mean, there could be any number of reasons for why she'd be moving the station. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say we can continue this discussion as it comes up in the cards. But for this card, what questions do you have for her? Is something wrong? Her answer is no. Nothing's wrong. Everything's happening exactly as it should be. That's what her response is. Are we good to go to the next card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we on now?
Fall. Yep, this is fall. This is fall. Just wait till winter, y'all.
An outside authority questions you. Do you explain what you've seen or lie? What comes of it? Is this where the navigator comes in?
Could be the navigator. Could be the kids got tired of blackmailing us and just told somebody's parents.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because literally an authority could be just parents. But it could be like
we're
yeah,
children. Pretty much everybody older than us is an authority.
Okay, so who do we want this outside authority to be? Parents or some kind of staff on the station? Should we go with so one of the bullies decided to go and tell, and so a set of parents have come to question us.
And did you say an outside set of parents has come to question us?
No, I said a set of parents.
Okay, sorry, I heard an outside set of parents, and I was like, interesting.
I mean, there are very much those parents who, like, you know, you teach their kids something that they don't like and they will come get after you for it instead of talking to your parents.
I mean, I'd imagine Arcturus's parents or the whole species are very hands-off in their sort of parenting, as it were. So you get your initial raising, and then you get thrown out to explore the world for yourself, type thing.
And get out there and glow for yourself.
Yeah. So I'd imagine that if somebody told his parents, they probably wouldn't be terribly fussed. they might be a little concerned in terms of the. They might put two and two together in terms of, okay, something's happening, and also something's happening with the kids. Also, something seems to be suddenly happening with the station, which we've just realised.
Which we've just realized.
So I reckon that they would come at it from that sort of aspect, and so if they were to question the kids, it would be more in terms of what do you know about what's happening to the station, rather than why are you not doing your chores?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Do we say, like, it's Celeste? Like, what do we as kids? It's just Celeste. Like,
so we know that something's happening. We're aware.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd imagine that our answer would be to explain.
I don't think Zips would say anything.
Yeah.
I don't think Zips would explain it. I think Zips would be very concerned that if they were to say something, Celeste would be taken away.
I think Arcturus would be more naive about that. And
like, you trust the authority.
No, I think they're just more matter of fact. So he would sort of explain it from his perspective in terms of oh yeah, we were talking with Celeste, who's this being in this cupboard we found, and we just started chanting and not actually explain anything where you'd get the sense that something has happened as a consequence, because he didn't necessarily understand that connection.
Yeah, I definitely think that Reams is not saying any of this either. Is not, like, saying anything to back up Arcturus.
Yeah, so he's just explaining all this, and the two of you are just standing there not saying anything.
Oh, I straight up think that if, like, if it's okay with everybody, like, if Arcturus starts saying this in front of Zips, Zips is just gonna be like, yeah, he's got a new imaginary friend.
Yeah.
But Zips is just gonna straight up lie.
And I think the Arcturus would probably just go, yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah. It's a mixture of the truth and an explanation that kind of makes sense, but he's not entirely sure.
All right. So what comes of this then? Do they believe it's a real thing and investigate it, or are they like, okay, they don't know anything?
I think that they would probably dismiss the kids as being actually part of it. But maybe start looking into what the station itself is doing.
Okay, that makes sense.
But because the station is designed to be mostly autonomous, probably not get very far.
All right.
Either that, or they sort of raise it as an issue to the sort of people who could do something about it, and they just go, "Oh no, the station's very well designed. Don't bother us with us."
So it's a Titanic situation now, is what you're saying. This is the
This ship is
unsinkable
unsinkable.
ship! Yeah!
See, I would like to think that we wouldn't do that again, but we definitely would.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Perfect. I love it. Okay.
Cool.
I dig it.
Next one.
Ooh, interesting. I wonder if this happened because of Anton's card.
But I feel like with the way that we've set this up, I kind of want to actually draw a different card.
Okay, you can do that.
Because I don't... Like, the whole thing is that she's here,
Yeah.
is how we've set this up, so... Okay, people ask for your help. What are you able to do now that you weren't before? We have a lot of snacks.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
probably more than we could actually eat on our own.
Snack power.
And I feel like maybe we've set up our own little, like, food bank for, like, you know, other kids that, like, maybe their parents are struggling a little bit, and
Aw, snack bank. Like, I love that.
yeah. And I think,
Like a snack soup kitchen.
yeah,
Taurus's winged delivery service.
I think that's definitely a thing that these kids could do that they couldn't do before, because before they were not exploiting children for snacks in order to, like, learn a cool new dance language. But now that we've been doing that, it's time to give back to the community.
So it's a snacks, food bank and takeaway service
Yes.
and delivery service.
Yes.
Excellent. I like that.
We are all about keeping the children fed.
I like it. Alright. So that's how we round out our fall.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Who read the last season card? It was Anton. Morgan, do you want to read Winter? The winter season?
Sure. Oh, there's only one left. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be good to just pull it.
Winter
You can
is
also-
when
If you want to see it
Can't read
bigger,
it 'cause
click
it's so
on it
small.
and hit Z. Click it and you
Ah.
press Z. It'll zoom
Winter
big.
is when Our Lady said she would return. Winter is when Our Lady said she would return and deliver her final miracle. The game ends as soon as someone draws the She Has Returned card. If it is not drawn after everyone has had their turns, you must make a decision. In your story, does she return or not? So I think rather than her returning, though, it's probably a case of us arriving where she wants
Arriving.
us to be.
I could see that. That makes sense.
because she's been here this whole time.
Mm.
All right. All right. I'm gonna pull the first winter card then.
Go.
Okay. What sacrifice do you make for her? Do you gain anything in return? Interesting. Well, obviously we're not giving up our snack shop. That's just unacceptable. Yeah. Am I giving up the glowing? Like the ability to glow and communicate with the computer?
Oh, I was answering Q's question.
Oh, sorry. How's the lady? She's
Q asked
glowing.
how the lady
Okay.
was, and I said glowing.
I could Okay, well
But
that's
that
the
is
ability
an
she's.
option.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. It's that what else? Gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to do this in a way that's like suited to the story we've told so far. Because this card is very suited in some stories, but like told a very different story.
I mean, do you want to pick a different card?
I have a feeling that they're gonna. Winter is pretty dark, so like the seasons start bright and get like that's literally by design. You know what? I might try another one. I can think of some stuff, but I don't think it's super good story. So let's try another one. Interesting. One of our friends is still on Team Lightbulb. I'm gonna say, okay, so this card says, did I even read the last one out? It was, what sacrifices do you make for her? Do you gain anything in return? Which is like so-so. This one is, many people believe you now, but someone close to you still does not. How does this hurt? I'm wondering if it's like I have an older sibling that's in Team Lightbulb, which is to say, for anyone just arriving, our lady so far is a being of light and sound and music and movement. And there are a lot of people who dismissed her not as a being, but as literally like some sort of fancy light show. And I'm wondering if I have an older sibling who, you know, I like look up to, and we were at a point where like a lot of the kids on the space station are like, yeah, this is a whole special thing. Like, there's a lady of light and sound. Like, downstairs, there's a lady of light and sound, and all she wants is to go home. All she wants is to go home. That's all she wants. That seems pretty reasonable. And I definitely have an older brother that's like, haha, you three are just like goofing around. You three are like pulling tricks on all this shit, but you're not gonna pull one over on me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that this hurts because I'm at a point where we've seen her go from like, you know, distraught to like happy that we were helping to seemingly like yeah, we're doing it. And like I think even I want to say that at this point she has said, you can decide if she has said it to either of you two, But I want to say at this point, she has said to me that this location will be good for all of it. Where we're going is a beautiful place. And it's really special. And it will be good for everyone. And so this hurts because I genuinely believe it. And I'm like, we got it. Well, firstly, we just have to take her home because she knows to go home. But secondly, it could be all of our new homes. It could be a really good place, you know? We haven't, the way it was, you know, we weren't gonna get to have a home for a long time. And now we could have one. And older siblings just like, haha, you silly jelly jam anthropod. Like you whatever the sibling equivalent like of like hair wrestling is when you're just a liquid creature. And I'm like, no, you're gonna see, this is really, you'll see. Like little kid shake fist. Like,
Yeah.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
You do something you claim was in her name. Would she approve? Do the others know? Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Arcturus blindly stumble into doing something, I reckon. Be a bit naive about it. I don't know what.
Would you do something to defend the destination? Would you do something to like stop people from getting to the code? Would you stop people from trying to do something to clear out that room? Like, do people think like there's something bad in that room and it needs to be like vacuumed? And when I say vacuumed, I don't mean like a little electric vacuum. I mean space vacuum.
Or did you just do something you really wanted to do but knew you weren't supposed to and say it was because
and said it was I'm
thinking more that sort of thing. That sort of thing. I'm thinking probably fly down a route in the space station that he shouldn't. Just because he thinks it's fun. Yeah, so I'd imagine that there's a there's probably some kind of corridor somewhere in the space station where children aren't supposed to go. And Arcturus decides that because he's glowing now, he's an adult and therefore is able to go down this route.
Contract.
I don't know what the danger is. I can't think of anything at the moment.
Why would you claim this was an action you were doing for her, on her behalf? Because that's what you do something you claim was in her name.
Ooh.
Or are you just so? Are you doing this because you think that there's something that way that she wants, or are you doing it because you want to do it and you don't want to be blamed for it?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you see down there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. I think it's more something that he would do because he wants to. And he's just claiming it's something that he's been told to do. I'm trying to think of something that would actually be dangerous. I'm starting to think of a sort of corridor that has lots of air ducts around it, so there's a lot of wind force
That's
in
an
there.
option. There's also something is powering this ship in some way,
Mm.
and it would be stored somewhere. You would assume.
Mm-hmm.
We could have a sort of Icarus scenario.
You fly too close to the power.
Too close to the power source.
Do we know that you are doing this or that you've done this?
That's part of the question.
Yeah. Is this something you've been doing? Like,
Okay, so there's a power source at the center of this space station. And the adult angel creatures fly through this chamber because it's a shorter route. But the kids aren't allowed to because their wings aren't strong enough. And Arcturus decides that because he's now glowing, he is now an adult and therefore is allowed to do this because he can't be bothered to take the long route around the outer corridors. And he's doing so because he's saying, well, I'm now glowing because of her, so she's entitled me to do this. Would she approve? I don't think she'd care, one way or the other. It's not important to her in terms of the mission, and actually she's not. I don't think she cares about how she's represented on the station so long as she gets home. Do the others know? I'm going to say not.
you're doing this dangerous thing because you consider yourself an adult now,
Yes.
but you are shameful enough of it that you don't tell your best friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Or he doesn't want to tell them because the first time he tried it, he hurt one of his wings or something. And so he passes it off as an accident somewhere else.
Okay. You actually did get injured the first time you did this, and you're like, oh, I tripped in the angel shower.
I touched a boiling kettle. accidentally with my wing. Yeah,
Are we?
there we go.
Okay. Okay. I'm just wondering if we've, like, gained any interconnection from this power that we share.
Between ourselves?
Yeah. I'm just curious. It doesn't need to play into this.
I mean, I
We're done.
think that, like, we definitely have, like, a stronger bond between the three of us because this happened. I don't know that that's necessarily, like, because we have some sort of shared special way of communicating so much as just she appeared to the three of us and has mostly been talking to the three of us, and so clearly we're the most important people on this ship.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
that
not.
makes-
I don't think we communicate between ourselves any differently. Although we've been more aware of the pulsing
Mhm.
and the emotional state.
All right.
But I'd say that we get used to that pretty quickly.
Like, we might be more able to read each other's emotions.
Makes sense.
Cool.
All right. I would like to point out that this is the last card, and if it's not the She Has Returned card, we need to figure out an alternate ending.
Okay. Well, let's see what I get. It is not the
Dun,
She Has
dun.
Returned card.
Oh, interesting.
She told us a secret that she didn't tell you two. What was it?
Oh, that's juicy. Oh no.
This is all a trick. You're gonna die. Ha
Oh god.
ha.
Now we get to, yeah.
I think that she told us that she doesn't actually know what's on the other end of this trip. She just knows it's where we're supposed to be.
Okay, when you say I love this. When you say she doesn't know what's on the other end, she just knows it's where we're supposed to be. Does she mean us as in the residents of the space station? Did she get sent here to take us there?
I mean, I think that's what we had decided.
Okay. I like that.
I don't know what Zips. Like, I think that is, like, too much for Zips to, like, wrap their head around. And so we would just prefer to not think about it.
So you don't tell anyone, not because you want to keep the secret, but because you don't want to think about it.
Because it's just, like, the
Does not
idea,
compute.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that something has come aboard our ship. We don't know how it got there. It's just there now. And it just fundamentally changed the ship itself. On, like, a level that the ship's safety systems have been unable to stop. And it doesn't know where it's taking us. That's horrifying.
I love that so much.
And I think that, like, I think we're scared. I think on some level we do trust this creature.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, when we first met it, it gave us a hug. So it can't be bad.
A warm space hug.
It was a warm space hug. Zips has never felt warm like that before. So, this person, she must be okay, right?
I love it.
Like, I think Zips just, like... Zips is absolutely one of those kids who would just, like, keep asking why.
Yeah.
Until they either get an answer that satisfies them or get an answer that's, like, they just don't want to think about. So I think Zips just, like, went down there one day, and we were just like, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Until the lady finally was like, I got no clue.
Cool.
I love it.
So, what's the conclusion?
Is the conclusion just that we keep traveling?
I mean, do we want to end it on, like, a cliffhanger, or do we want to, like, resolve this story? I feel like where we are is kind of scary.
I mean, we could go back to the idea of she's actually a star, and the place we're heading to is a star, and it's a death sentence.
I don't think this is. I mean, like.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Like, just leaving it. Like, we just genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
like that. Personally, I like leaving it open-ended.
Because I feel like if we come up with some kind of an ending, I don't think it's going to be nearly as satisfying as just being like, well,
Yeah.
we did this.
We don't know because she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
it's not within our realm of ability to know this answer. Because she doesn't know where we're going, and we're not there yet.
Yeah, Zips is absolutely the are we there yet kid.
I'm happy with that.
I'm really happy with that.
Cool.
Okay. Alright. I for one welcome our new light bulb overlord. Hi.
Brilliant.
Look, since she's come, this ship now has a snack food soup kitchen.
Yeah. If anything, the ship has changed for the better.
And a flying delivery service.
The children are fed.
As
They
many
might not be
snacks.
fed healthy food, but they are fed.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lots and lots of good snacks. All right. I love it. It is not common that we get to end the indie game spotlight on a open end like this, and I love it so. I don't know if you can see the delight in my eyes right now, but I'm so pleased. I love this. This was not a story I could have imagined. And I really love that we arrived here. So thank you both so much for this good gift, because I am happy.
I love this game. You did such a good job on this game.
It's a thing.
It's such a good game.
It is delightful.
We have told some very fun stories with it. I do like some of the stories that come out of this game. It definitely has like a really extreme mix of happy endings to very sad endings to this is the first like inconclusive ending I've ever seen, and I'm so happy.
Well, I mean, we haven't arrived, so we can't
haven't
have an
arrived.
ending because we just didn't arrive.
Yeah, it's true. It's perfect. I love it. Thank you both so much. Let's go around. We're gonna go in reverse order this time. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what good stuff you're up to. I'll put everyone's links in the chat. You can find everyone in the links in the chat. Yeah, Morgan. And if you want to tell us your favorite moment in the game, that's always a good one.
I'm Morgan. You can find me at Morgan Eilish on pretty much any platform. I'm not doing a whole lot outside of working right now, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can see me yell about how I'm a bi disaster and all my friends are hot. That's always a fun time. I think my favorite part of the game is absolutely the is it a person or is it a light bulb discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
That was really good.
I do love that. That was very good. That's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for playing. Next up is Anton.
Okay. I'm Anton. Can I plug a thing? Is that allowed?
Yeah. But I think you are you can do links, right? Try do a link. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'll redo it.
Try and do a link.
Yeah.
I don't have a link handy. Hang on.
Oh. Then go ahead and plug whatever it was you wanted. Sorry.
Okay. Let me plug my Twitter. Does that link work? It does.
That link works.
Not my Twitter, my Twitch. Right. So, it's a month away, but on the 26th of September, I am going to do a 12-hour charity stream. Essentially, at that point, it will be a year since my father passed away. So I'm going to try and raise some money in his memory. So that'll be the Saturday. I think it's the 26th. In about a month. Obviously, I will advertise it a bit more between now and then. In the meantime, I stream 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, doing all sorts of things. Mostly Star Wars at the moment. And I'll probably start doing some Spiritfarer, because that's been stealing my time. And it's very fun. Also, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter if you want.
Favorite moment?
Favorite moment? I got wings.
That was before we started. I like when you compared yourself to the furry monster in Star Wars.
The Wampa?
Yeah.
The Wampa.
The
Wampa with
yes.
wings.
And yeah, I mean that the originally I was just thinking of a sort of cherub thing, with a young kid with wings, a classic angel type thing, and I thought, nah, you, two of you are going more fantastical, so I gotta go more fantastical, so I did.
Awesome.
Favorite moment? I don't know. I really enjoyed all of it, really. It's kind of all a blur now.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
But yeah, it's been good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good. I'm really glad. Thank you both for playing. This was a ton of fun. I really like this story. Like I said, I'm not myself a sci-fi buff, so I love when people like take it somewhere I never would have thought of, and the two of you were like, but science, space this, and space science that, and I'm just sitting here like, I know that there's a star named Polaris. Hi. Like, but I really, really like it. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna say my favorite moment was the moment we realized that her language that we were perpetrating, thinking it was just a cute, funny language, was now in the system controlling things, and everyone immediately went, wow, this got creepy real fast. Everyone was just like, this went from like sweet, innocuous space light creature to very near light space mind control zombieism, question mark? Like,
We went from space hugs to space kidnapping.
Yeah.
of a whole space station.
Yeah.
Well, she says it's for our benefit, so I'm just gonna trust that it's for our benefit, so but literally, I feel like there was a moment there where, like, just a switch got flipped. And it was so good, like, because everyone was like, oh no, like, all at once. It was very good, and I really like that. I love moments like that. And like, honestly, Morgan, the final moment where you were like, her secret to me is she doesn't know where we're going. And I was like, yes, this is so good. This is so good. Like, oh, that was just amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you both so much for coming and playing this game. It was, I really appreciate it. I love seeing when people do a different thing with it. So, oh, thank you so much for playing. If you are watching this over on Twitch, I've put everyone's links in the chat. If you watch it later over on YouTube, I'll put the links down below. This is my game. I made it. It's the first game I ever made. It was for the Folklore Game Jam last year. The Folklore Game Jam is going on right now. And I am going to try and update this game. If you picked up the social justice, racial inequality bundle over on itch.io, you already have it. And go play it, and then let me know what kind of story you made, and was it as scary as ours, or was it different? I don't know,
Or
let
was
me know.
it scarier?
Yeah, was it darker? Because I've seen these go very dark, so it's so funny, because I don't know what I made. I just made this thing, and then I released it into the world, and it does stuff sometimes. And sometimes it's scary, and sometimes it's happy, and sometimes it's interesting, who knows. But yeah, currently this game is available over on itch.io for $2. And I'm going to be updating it and raising the price. So if you are interested at all, consider picking it up before I raise the price. I will be updating the community copies, because I always want it to be available even if you don't have, you know, that money handy in your pocket right now. It's cool. I still want you just to be able to play games, you know? So I will try and update those community copies as well. Thank you all so much for playing. Thank you, Roll20. We did play a Roll20 copy. Say Roll20 copy as if Roll20 has copies. I'm not that fancy. This is a copy that was made by me and a friend with all the drawing cards, and I do really like it, and I don't know, I would love to get it out there somehow so that people can play it this way, because I just think it's easier after I've updated it and put better text on it, because honestly the text is a little bit hard to read. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at updating and fixing on this. But yeah, thank you, Roll20, for the awesome Spotlight program, and for just being a really great hub by which to play games with your friends online. Thank you, Roll20, you're awesome. If you don't have a Roll20 account, go be friends with Roll20, make an account, find some games, go play some games. Go play some games! I will be back here tomorrow. Every other Saturday we do Heart. This is an off week, but I will be posting last week's Heart episode over on YouTube, so you can check that out. We'll be doing Destiny with Dustin tomorrow, and then Sunday we were returning to space in our Dark Matter campaign, Conspiracy in the Stars, where the crew just got mad at me in the last episode that they realized that it was a conspiracy, but that's in the name. I never hid that from. They were like, this is a conspiracy. Just I don't trust anyone. And I was like, title of game, friends. Title of game. I literally, my players got so mad at me. So, but yeah, it's a really
foreshadowing.
That means you're doing it right, Jess.
I know. They're like, Jess, we don't trust anyone. I was like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. There's trustworthy people here. It's up to you. It's up to you. You decide. You're the. Anyways, it's a ton of fun. It's a really great game. They are Chaos Gremlins. They have done a lot of stuff. One of them has a bomb gun. Like they chuck bombs, and the bombs do random things, and they keep accidentally teleporting stuff away. It's shenanigans, let me tell you. Space has some weird stuff in it. Lots of good stuff. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here, for hanging out. That's gonna be it for us for tonight. I'll go and find us someone to raid, but in the meantime, I just want to say, please y'all, take care of yourselves out there. Be good, be safe, be kind to yourselves and one another. Wear a mask, wash your hands. Don't forget that Black Lives Matter. All the fucking... Listen, I'm swearing. I don't always swear. All the fucking time. Not just sometimes. All the time. And trans rights are human rights. Get out there. Do some support. Take care. And we'll see you again soon. Heart Dragon Faces. See you later. Bye!